Hey guys, what's up? It's HockeyMan91 here, and it's Tech Tuesday, the time of the week when I do something concerning technology. This week's question, is the iPod 5th generation obsolete? Okay, so if you haven't heard, and it's completely possible that you haven't, because Apple has been really quiet about it, the iPod 6 was released in July of 2015. I actually picked up one only a couple weeks after the release, and I've been using it ever since. It was very surprising that it came out because everyone figured that Apple was more or less ditching the iPod thanks to their ever-decreasing popularity. That's too bad because these things are really awesome devices, especially if you can't afford or even aren't allowed a phone. But anyway, let's get right into this. Okay, for some background, the iPod 5th generation was released in 2012 alongside the iPhone 5. It carries an A5 processor, which is the same found in the iPhone 4S and the iPad 2. Just to compare, the iPod 6 runs the A8 processor, which is also found in the iPhone 6. This device is extremely thin, like really thin, and it's light. It's crazy, just throwing that out there. It's got a 4-inch screen with Retina display, same as iPhone 5 and 5S. This device is beautiful. Like all of Apple's products, I know I say for every one of Apple's products that I review, but it's always true. This one especially is just really nice. Aluminum, it's beautiful. It's got a 5 megapixel camera, which isn't terrible, and you can record 1080p video. It has the lightning connector, so if you have an old docking station you want to use, then you're going to have to pick up an adapter or something to that nature. It will run iOS 9 thankfully, although it's safe to assume it won't run iOS 10. The A5 processor is getting older, but it can still run the software without too much difficulty. You will experience lag on this device, which is really too bad, but what are you going to do? Most games will run on this, but expect some frame rate drops, especially in 3D games. If you want this device for games, you might want to consider going with the iPod 6th generation instead. Now keep in mind that there are a couple versions of the iPod 5. There's the original version, which is 32GB and has a front-facing and rear-facing camera. There's the 64GB model. And then there's the newer 16GB model, which only comes in black and silver and only has a front-facing camera. It's cheaper, but the lack of camera makes it subpar to the other iPods. Colors for the iPod 5th gen, minus the 16GB model of course, are blue, pink, silver, yellow, and black. Apple is really trying to appeal to everyone with these beautiful colors, and I've got to say the colors are definitely a nice touch. Right now you can get an iPod 5th generation 32GB for about $175 to $200 on ebay.com. So is this iPod worth it? Is it obsolete? That of course is the question. The answer, don't buy this device unless you really don't care about the speed of the iPod. It's only got one more year of support, and even though it's cheap, the iPod 6th generation is a better buy for your buck. The iPod 6 is exactly the same as the 5th gen except for the processor, which means you'll not only have everything you get with the 5th gen, but you also get speed. You can find an iPod 6th generation on apple.com right now for about $250 for a 16GB model. If this is for your kid who's, too young to really know that the iPod is slow, then it might just be the device for you, or for him in this case, or whatever. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I really hope this answered your question, and if there's something I left out, or you just want to ask something, or talk about your experience with the iPod 5, please put it in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and like, because I do videos like this every Tuesday. Thanks again for watching guys, and I'll see you all next time.